sitting here in my kitchen, and today I've got a vegan cooking tutorial for you. This is the second ever vegan cooking tutorial I have filmed, so it's probably a little bit rusty around the edges. I don't know how the lighting's going to be, but I've tried my best and I hope you guys will enjoy it. Today we're making creamy vegan pasta with mushrooms. So the backstory behind this recipe, I didn't come up with this one completely by myself. There's a recipe on this website called Yep, It's Vegan, and this website has amazing vegan recipes on it. So I got the inspiration originally for this recipe from that website. So the author of that website had made this delicious vegan creamy pasta, and I was making that for a couple of months and really enjoying it. And then over time I've kind of twisted the recipe, so I've added in a few different ingredients. If you guys want to see the original recipe of the creamy pasta, I will put the link, actually, can I put the link on the screen? No, probably not. But I will put the link in the description box down below. So if you just look underneath the video, you will see a link and that'll take you to the Yep, It's Vegan website where the original recipe of this is. But if you want to see my take on it, then just keep on watching and I will show you how I make it. Okay, so the ingredients that you're going to need are these ones here. On this plate, I've got some roughly chopped up brown or white onion and some garlic. I use about 4 to 5 garlic cloves because I absolutely adore garlic. In my opinion, you can never have too much garlic in your food. Then I've got almost a whole punnet of roughly chopped up mushrooms. These are just the cheap button mushrooms that you buy from any grocery shop. I just got mine from Tesco. Now we're going to be using non-dairy milk, obviously. My favorite one is this one here from Oatly. It's oat milk and it doesn't curdle. It's absolutely lovely and the ingredients are awesome as well. Then for the stock, I love this one here. This is the Swiss vegetable bouillon powder. I think that's how you pronounce it. Boiling powder, I don't know. It tastes amazing and the ingredients in it are pretty good as well. It starts off as a powder and you just mix it with hot water until it becomes a liquid consistency like this. The pasta I like to use is this one here. Again, it's from Tesco. It's the tagliatelle pasta. It also tastes really nice with fettuccine pasta too. For the spices, I'm using more garlic. This is just powdered garlic spices. I'm also adding in some dried ground onion, some dried paprika, a few grinds of whole black peppercorns, and a tiny amount of ground sea salt. I don't need to use a lot of salt because there's already salt in the stock. So what I'm doing is pouring some extra virgin olive oil into my pot. I will try and find the pot that I use and link it in the description box down below for you guys. I love my ceramic pot. So first of all, I'm just going to fry up my onions. So I'm putting all of the onion into the olive oil into the pot, and I'm frying it on a pretty high heat because I'm impatient and I want my onion to fry quickly. Then once my onion has started to sweat and it's starting to brown, I'm going to add in the garlic. And then I'm going to stir them all together and let it fry for a little bit longer, the onion and garlic together, until they go just a little bit browner before I add in my mushrooms, because mushrooms don't take as long to cook as what the garlic and onion does. So I'll stir them all together again and fry it for a little bit longer until everything starts to go a little bit browner and starts to sweat and softens. By the way, I don't add in any more olive oil once I've already put my first amount of olive oil in. If it looks like my pan's drying out, I just add in a tiny amount of water at a time and stir everything together, and that kind of gets the juices flowing as well. So once the onion, the garlic and the mushrooms are looking like this, nicely browned and fried, then I'm going to add in my vegetable stock. I just add it in and stir it all together. And then straight away I add in my milk. So it's 1.5 cups of milk, and again I've used the oat milk. I'm now adding in my spices, so I'm putting in a little bit of salt and pepper. Then I'm adding in my garlic and my onion and paprika powders. And again, stirring it all together, make sure there's no clumps. So this is our sauce. So as you can see, it's really liquidy and it's very runny. But once you add in the pasta and the pasta starts to cook in it, I think it must be something to do with the starches in the pasta and the high heat that we have this cooking on. It makes the sauce reduce until it becomes a much thicker consistency. So I'm just adding in my pasta. I'm using about 5 balls of this pasta because I like to keep my sauce pretty creamy. The more pasta you put in, obviously the less amount of sauce there will be to go around it. So if you don't like your pasta too creamy or too saucy, just add in more pasta. But if you like a high sauce to pasta ratio like I do, make sure you don't use too much pasta. Now I'm going to give this a good stir and make sure the pasta is nicely coated in the sauce, and then I'm going to let it cook. So the pasta usually takes around 5 to 7 minutes to cook, and then after that, once the pasta looks like it's softened, I turn the heat down just to a simmer. Stirring it every so often, I just let the sauce reduce to a thickened consistency. So as you can see, it's not quite as runny anymore. It's definitely thickening up a little bit. But again, I want mine to be a little bit thicker than this, so I'm going to let it cook for a little while longer. And now this is where I like it. Again, if you don't want yours to be quite as creamy or quite as saucy as this, you can either let it cook a little bit longer to reduce the consistency of the sauce even more, or you can just add in more pasta at the start. But I love my pasta super creamy, so I'm going to leave mine like this. I really need one of those utensils that you scoop pasta out with. I don't have one at the moment, so I just have to use my wooden spoon and then try and catch all the pasta in my bowl. It is very difficult, and I usually make a mess and Darren gets annoyed at me, but what can you do? I'm going to fill up Darren's bowl quite high with this pasta and then feed it to the boy. So I thought you guys would appreciate this zoomed in shot of the pasta so you can see how creamy and delicious it looks. I wish you could smell it through YouTube. It smells absolutely amazing. Oh, just editing this video makes me want to eat it. And that is what it looks like even closer. Okay, Darren, let's try it and see what you think.
What is it?
Pasta. Is it nice?
That's good. Super creamy.
That's a good thing.
So if you miss creamy pasta, this one's for you.
It's super healthy too. It's just got vegetable stock and non-dairy milk. So there's no cream, no cheese. So it's super healthy and it's absolutely delicious. But I really love creamy pastas, and that's one of the things that I missed most when I went vegan. So if you're anything like me and you miss creamy pastas, this will hit the spot perfectly.
That doesn't look nice.
Alright guys, I'm going to let Darren finish his meal and I'll see you guys in my next video. Oh, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it, do you want to say it?
Nope.
Thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Love you guys, bye!